Good afternoon, everybody. It's Brandon Doherty, Delaware Weather Guy, bringing you your Sunday weather update and week ahead outlook. And also, we're going to do a little Sunday afternoon review of quarterback of the storm on Friday, which was marvelous, to say the least, in terms of like just the pure beauty of it. Most of us received a good 4 to 6 inches around the state. I saw different amounts, but depending on where banding that banding set up and where you were, if you were sort of in the northern to middle to eastern side of that, you did pretty well. Places in New Jersey, South Jersey, which, originally were supposed to probably get only like 2 inches, wound up with, I know Atlantic City had 5 or 6, and, places like, Swedesboro did well, Vineland did well, Vineland did well. So lots, it definitely was an overachiever, but we definitely knew that was the possibility, and I showed that on the maps. So we'll do a little review of that as well. If you're wondering what this is a little voice amplifier. So this is helps me with, especially now with I'm getting over the cold, I'm getting over the laryngitis, but still, as you can probably tell, I'm not all the way there yet. So currently it's 32 degrees. Didn't get much above 32 today. There was a little wind from the north, about 7 to 10 miles, which was cold when it came up, but it generally was a decent day. Not a lot of melting took place, but come the next couple of days, that's going to flip. Now, do not follow these. This is my tempest, so do not go by my tempest here. It says wintry mix possible, snow possible. Do not even. That's just spitting out data according to what data it's coming in with. So just focus on the temperatures really, because it ain't happening. 33 on Monday, 40 on Tuesday, then it progressively just gets higher and higher, and you can see that 53, 59. And then as we head towards next weekend, we're in the 50s and low 40s. So, yeah, over the next 10 days, I would say our chances of any snow in the forecast is going to be about zero. I'm going to say 1%. So, we're going to relax. We're going to get into this wet pattern instead of snowy and wintry pattern. We are going to get into a wet pattern. So that's what you can expect there. So you can see the weather story here. This is this was for today. I don't know if there were. I mean, northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. There were a few gusts, but there weren't many gusting up to 30. I didn't particularly feel that like it got that high, but it might have in other places. So it was feeling like it was 20, and it was falling back to under about 10 tonight. Radars, visible satellite, you can see some clouds over here, but you can also see the snow on the ground. Let me zoom into that. You can see the snow depth. And here we are, looking good, looking real good. just funny how there was one little snow hole right down here. I don't know what that is, but kind of interesting. one little notch, but that could be a lake or something because that shows you landforms. So as you can tell, there's plenty of snow in the Northeast corridor, and that last snow gave us a good, comfortable margin for January, and we are above average for January, and that is certainly helpful. And it's going to bear fruit in the spring when our lawns are beautifully green, hopefully by mid April instead of brown like they were until about mid July last year. I didn't I didn't even know that I had a lawn until like the middle of July when it started needing cutting, services. So um, I think that'll be a little bit different this year. So this is the NAM. I'm going to go back to the global because it shows you a more representative feature. Okay, so excuse me. There is still a little cold air around for this next system coming up, but all the snow is going to be well to our north. So anything above this line, that's where the cold and snow is going to be. So either no need to worry, or if you're upset, well, that's where you need to go if you want to see it. Um, you can see that this system doesn't come in really until um, late Wednesday evening, and it's really it's our run of the mill little wave of rain. Then we have a low pressure coming through the Appalachians that'll spawn a low that goes across the Delmarva, more rain, and then we have another we have another wave that comes through. Now there is a little batch of snow down here, but that's West Virginia. That's elevation snow, so that won't be affecting us at all. Then we have, the end of the month. There's been back and forth. There's a storm signal, but it could be just all rain. It could be a legit snowstorm, you know. But as of now, it just looks pretty much like, run of the mill, seasonably cold. We get back into that little pattern by the end of the month. February is shaping up to be something interesting. Not the first week of February, second week of February, the rest of the month, and into March. We may have to put on our seatbelts again and get ready for an interesting ride because there's a lot of model support for increasing cold and snow and possible storms. You know, and again, just because you get one thing doesn't guarantee the other and doesn't guarantee the other. So, you know, if you have the cold, that's great, but if you don't have the storms, that's not. If you don't have anything in the feeder pattern, then you have really just cold air. If you have the storms but you don't have the cold, well, you have a lot of rain. So we're used to that. We're used to that kind of pattern. So we'll just have to see. But I guess the data is supporting a cold and maybe stormy February into March. So we have plenty of winter left. Do not start planning your garden just yet. So let's look at some totals, snow totals from the other day. And this is an interesting map. This is a nice map that Noah puts together from spotters. And really, if you have a measurement, you can email it into them, and it's really valuable data. I mean, there's more people that look at this for all kinds of support, all kinds of information, scientists, researchers, students, meteorologists in the field, myself. So, this very, very, very valuable things. All right, so let's go. Let's go down the state. Let's start in Wilmington. Let's start in. This would be near me, the Claymont area, 4.35. We have 5 in Ashburn Hills. I know where that is. We have 4.5 near the city. We had 5.3 near Stockton. That's near Newcastle. The official total for Newcastle was 5.2. So, because Newcastle Airport is the official total for Newcastle County. All right, Newark, southeast Newark had 4.2. White Clay Creek, 4.5. Hockessin, 4.5. Middletown, 5.2. Going downstate, Dover, 7. Wow. You were in that band all day. You were in that trough, the inverted trough, went exactly like this. And you were this area was in the heart of that trough. So they saw good banding all day long. So good job with that, Dover. Dover always seems to be in the sweet spot, and I think it's just because of the way these storms and their banding take place. Sorry. As we go downstate, 2.5 for Georgetown, 2.8 Stockley, 2.2 for Dagsboro, and 1.8 down here in Bishopville and then 2.4 Nassau, Delaware near Lewis. I'm assuming. And I think Lewis wound up having like 2.4. So good job with that. So really, here's a look at our 7-day, overall. And after Monday, it looks like just wet, 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 rain, 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 rain. And a lot of melting. A lot of melting. All right. So that was a quick run through of what's going on. And I hope you have a great week. Brandon Doherty, Delaware Weather Guy, saying adios.